you have to be flexible enough to pivot in your business. Like I said, my perfectly mapped out year went to crap. And I could have thrown the towel in, stopped chasing my dreams, but I didn't. I pivoted. I worked out a new strategy on how I could be involved in all three businesses and ultimately make them successful. And it hasn't been pretty at times, and I've got pretty overwhelmed, and I've had a mantra: I've just got to get through. But I realized that I am tougher, smarter, and way more resilient than I thought. And in life and business, there's always going to be some sort of an obstacle, a hurdle, a challenge. And it's not how you avoid them that matters, it's how you overcome them. And think back just a few years to COVID. Not even the smartest business minds saw that one coming. Everyone globally had to pivot. And fingers crossed, we don't have to go through such a large scale pivot again anytime soon. But in real estate and property management, there's always a need for pivoting. There's new software and tech that comes to market. Market conditions are constantly changing. Your team is constantly changing. So don't get rigid and set in your ways. Be flexible and pliable, and your business will ultimately stand the test of time. Thank you so much for being here and listening to another episode of the Property Management Podcast. I am so grateful that you've got me in your ears right now. Now, in this episode, I want to share with you some of the lessons that I have learned about business this year. And when I dived into 2023, I thought my business or businesses would be heading in a completely different direction. I thought I would be selling my real estate business and then diving head on into my Done For You socials. And inside that Property Mum, I was launching a membership. What happened though was my rent roll sale fell over last minute, and the whole year that I had planned out ahead of me literally went to crap. And while I felt like throwing myself in a heap and having a massive tanty, and I'm going to be honest, I did cry a lot, I actually picked myself up eventually and dove headfirst back into running a property management business. And remember, if you've been following for a while, I hadn't actually been in my real estate business for 3 years prior to that. I stepped away when my marriage broke down, and I left my husband the business and started out in that Property Mum. And I had no idea what I was doing, by the way. I simply had a mission to help others, and it just kind of evolved from that. But as we all know, life rarely goes according to plan. And this year, like many before it, taught me a lot of lessons and has allowed me to enjoy continued personal growth. So let me share with you a few of the lessons business has taught me this year. If you are anything like me, you think you know your rent roll numbers. Well, I thought I did until I had a rent roll health check, and I was quite literally shocked. The money I was leaving on the table was astounding, and this is not something that I'm proud to admit. There were missed management fees, let fees, advertising, and lease renewal fees not being charged, and properties even without bonds. And all of this was happening despite monthly audits being conducted in my business. So how did I uncover all these gaps in my valuable income? Well, I had a rent roll due diligence from my good friend Tazi, aka the Rent Roll Queen and founder of the Tazi Way, a specialist in rent roll due diligence, business valuation, and management rights. The Tazi Way is the innovative force driving the real estate industry. With 25 years of business and real estate acumen, they find gaps and risks in your agency to find undiscovered value. If you'd like to book your business in for a rent roll due diligence, head to the link in the show notes and mention that Property Mum for a 10% discount. The first lesson I want to share with you is that you have to be flexible enough to pivot in your business. Like I said, my perfectly mapped out year went to crap, and I could have thrown the towel in, stopped chasing my dreams, but I didn't. I pivoted. I worked out a new strategy on how I could be involved in all three businesses and ultimately make them successful. And it hasn't been pretty at times, and I've got pretty overwhelmed, and I've had a mantra I've just got to get through. But I realized that I am tougher, smarter, and way more resilient than I thought. And in life and business, there's always going to be some sort of an obstacle, a hurdle, a challenge. And it's not how you avoid them that matters, it's how you overcome them. And think back just a few years to COVID. Not even the smartest business minds saw that one coming. Everyone globally had to pivot. And fingers crossed, we don't have to go through such a large scale pivot again anytime soon. But in real estate and property management, there's always a need for pivoting. There's new software and tech that comes to market. Market conditions are constantly changing. Your team is constantly changing. So don't get rigid and set in your ways. Be flexible and pliable, and your business will ultimately stand the test of time. If you're ready to be a super organised, focused and productive property manager, buckle up, because Colmio is about to revolutionise the way that you work. Colmio is the driving force behind property management excellence in residential real estate. Now picture this, a comprehensive end-to-end system designed to be the beating heart of your property management tasks, manage your properties, owners and tenants, and handle payments, inspections, and even marketing listings without leaving the platform. Colmio is designed to be an all-in-one solution to all your property management needs. And here's the game changer. Colmio isn't just software. It's been awarded the most innovative prop tech scale up in 2023. Yes, you heard it right. Colmio has been recognised for their groundbreaking approach to property management software. How good is that? So property managers, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, dive into the future of property management with Colmio. You can book in a demo with the team today and go in their weekly draw for a Prezi gift card worth $100. All you need to do is to head to the link colmio.com/thatpropertymum, and Colmio is KOLMEO. The second lesson that I want to share with you is that you have to get uncomfortable for real growth to happen. I did something this year that I hadn't done in 21 years. I spoke on stage for the first time again. And if you missed my appearance at the PPM conference in August, I shared about how way back when I was a budding sports journalist, I hosted and emceed a lot of different events. But the biggest one yet was a Surf Lifesaving Awards night. And there was one family who won nearly every single award, and I stuffed up their name every single time. And the more I panicked, the worse I got, and the worse the voice in my head screamed at me, "You can't do this, you're hopeless, you're a failure." And I ended up in such a state that I had sweat stains down to my waist, and I was wearing a bright red suit. Needless to say, after that event, I vowed never to put myself through that again. And I didn't until this year. And boy, am I super grateful and glad that I did. And despite the fear and anxiety and judgment that was building up inside me for months leading up to that event, what actually happened was that I stood up, I presented, I wasn't perfect, I stumbled over my words, I nearly cried, I sweated a little, but I proved to myself that I could overcome that fear, and I developed the courage to move forward, and it has resonated and in other areas of my life. It's actually been an absolute blessing in so many other ways, having the courage to do that. So unless you get uncomfortable, you aren't going to really grow. So that was lesson number 2 for me. Lesson number 3 is digital and online marketing is definitely the future of growing our businesses. I have actually believed this for a while now, but now more than ever, I believe as business owners, the key to growing our businesses long term is digital marketing. And we need to start running our businesses like online marketers, in my opinion. Brand awareness is absolutely as important as lead acquisition when it comes to growing your business today. I've created a whole course around digital marketing and the strategies that I've used to help me grow not one, but 3 businesses. And one is a 7-figure business and the other is a 6-figure business. And I don't say that to brag or big note, but I say that to share with you so that you know that it actually works. There is a link to the course in the show notes if you are interested. And if there is one major thing that I want you to take away from this episode, it is that I would love you to start taking digital marketing seriously. There's been so much talk of stress, overwhelm, and burnout in property management lately. Do you want to know how I overcame all of that? Yes, I hit rock bottom multiple times, but I got myself a virtual assistant. Actually, not just 1, but 3. But I didn't just get any VA, I got a PMVA. What are they? Well, they are the most well-trained in the business. And not only that, you also have a backup VA. So that essentially your business is never without admin support ever again. And my health, time, and business has never looked back. Your PMVA can take care of tasks like rent arrears, lease preparation and renewals, maintenance follow-up, routine inspection bookings, data entry, audits, prospecting, inbox management, and so much more. And the best part of implementing a PMVA in my business was that it freed up my time and my team's time to take care of important things like customer service. What makes me feel so safe is that PMVA is owned by Tiffany Botel, both here and in the Philippines, making my data secure and giving me more control over the VA arrangement. So head to the link in the show notes to book in your discovery call with Lady Boss Tiff. Lesson number 4 is personal development and mindset is ongoing and it's never going to be perfect. I was challenged by my old patterns and behaviors stepping back into my real estate business. I constantly questioned my worth, my enoughness, my leadership, and probably my sanity. But lucky for me, I had a whole toolkit to fall back on and get me through those challenging times and that negative mindset that crept up on me. Things like regular exercise, meditation, journaling, eating well, reading and listening to podcasts, taking simple amounts of time out of my day just to sit and think. And I know these aren't tools for everyone, but whatever it is that you need to do to shift out of that negative mindset and the spiral into victimhood, I want you to do it. Take a minute first, though, what you're actually feeling when you're in that negative spiral, and then find your own solution to shifting out of it. The longer you sit in it, the more drama and negativity it creates in your life. Trust me on this one. And lesson number 5 that I want to share with you is that stepping away from your business for an extended break is invaluable. I stepped away for 4 weeks this year, and it's probably been the longest break that I've ever had in my entire working life. And even though I did admit that I did struggle by the end of it, the clarity and renewed energy and motivation I had from breaking up my regular routine and being constantly busy has been business changing. And even though I haven't had time to implement any of the new ideas yet, because I've basically been catching up, but when I do, I know that they are going to be amazing for business. So stay tuned for those. Also, it's important to mention the health benefits of reducing stress and anxiety and having an opportunity to reset your nervous system are really important reasons to also give yourself an extended break if you can. So there you have it. Those are my 5 lessons that I have learnt about business this year. And I'm sure there's many more, but they are the 5 key ones that came to mind when I was putting this episode together for you guys. Now I'm forward planning for 2024 and I can't wait to share all the new and improved courses, training and content we have to share with you. And I really hope you'll continue to join me on this journey. Thank you to all of you who listen to this podcast religiously. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And I wish you and your families a really happy and amazing holiday season. And if you'd like to share your journey or story on this podcast, please reach out to me on social media or simply email me, kylie@thatpropertymum.com.au. One thing I dread doing is chasing up rent arrears and debt collection. It takes up valuable time and it can often lead to conflict. But it is a necessary evil when you are running a property management business. But there is an easier way to make sure your tenants' rent is paid on time and in advance, and it's called RentPay. RentPay is a secure and simple to use payment platform that saves agents time and money with fast, accurate receipting while making life better for renters. To top it all off, you'll never have to worry about dishonor fees or unknown deposits again. How good is that? Cleared funds are deposited straight into your bank account in a single daily payment with accurate receipting and reference numbers auto-assigned, and it's fully compatible with all trust accounting systems. It's a super flexible payment option for tenants who can pay rent in multiple ways, including direct debit, credit card, or instantly pay with Payer ID. Fees are minimal, and RentPay even helps with the rent arrears process by automating reminders to renters when payments are due or missed. If you are currently paying large bank fees, struggling with constant dishonors because the funds aren't cleared when their funds land in your trust, or wasting time chasing up unknown payments, I encourage you to book in a free demo with RentPay and give yourself and your renters an easier way to pay rent. Can I ask you a quick favour before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.